What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. And we're going back to their 2010 album, All You Need Is Now. And we're going to listen to a 2-for-1, meaning I'm going to react to both Return to Now, which I've heard from a couple people now, that it is in sort of an interlude, and it leads right into the 14th track, which is Before the Rain. I did want to mention again, I don't know if it's the case for everyone, I was just talking to a couple different people about the way my version of the album ends with Network or Nation, and I'm blanking in the moment who said it, but someone was saying that you know, on their version of the album, or as far as they knew, that the last track was Before the Rain. But yeah, right here it says number 15 is Network or Nation, so I don't know. Again, I thought that I had like a regular version of the album, because I remember some other people mentioning a couple tunes that are not on the version I have, so I thought, oh, okay, I have the default version, even though it is this like crazy cool, like fold out, you know, sort of extended digipack. But yeah, so apparently there are different, you know, iterations of this album, some of which do not end with Network or Nation, but that is the last track on my version, so we're going to eventually do that one. But as I said, for right now, we're going to do Return to Now and Before the Rain. So it's interesting, you know, Before the Rain, I think, is a title that's very evocative, and it has sort of a poetry to it, and this there's a suggestion that there's an incoming scenario, and you know, rain is not necessarily a negative, and indeed it is restorative and necessary in terms of ecosystems and, you know, living creatures and potable water. But there is that sort of, you know, that in some cases kind of like intangible suite of conditions which suggest that rain is about to start, sort of the humidity in the air, and so, you know, some people say the smell and so on. So it could relate to sort of those intangibles, perhaps as a metaphor for like a social or emotional event or process that's about to begin. So, you know, feeling you're on the edge of something, the anticipation of change. But it's interesting because Return to Now, that's a phrase that suggests, you know, a return to the present, a return to the immediacy of the moment. And usually if you're having to return to that, that means that you were in a reverie, or you were, you know, casting your mind back to some previous recollection, or you were trying to, you know, conceive of some future state of affairs. And, you know, for one reason or another, maybe because you need a reminder, maybe because like the events in the now are pressing, or maybe just because of some circumstance that is about to happen. So in a way, I feel like the two titles connect to each other in that they're both about change. They're like, in one, it's about returning to a state of affairs which presumably you were in before, like before you started looking back, before you started daydreaming, before you started speculating about the future. And then Before the Rain, it's about being in a state of affairs that very shortly will no longer be the case. A new scenario is going to arise, which again, could be literal, could be metaphorical, could be sort of a tone poem in terms of like it's an image, and a sort of feeling that's being expressed, but not necessarily a narrative. So I feel like it could go a number of different ways, but I do think the concept of change over time and in circumstances for an individual or more people are implicit, or is implicit in the title, or inherent. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly how it manifests. I'm not sure if Return to Now is going to have vocals, just because, you know, my understanding is that it is sort of a short interlude. But either way, I do like the juxtaposition of those two titles together, and it seems that they are sonically juxtaposed as well. So yeah, let me know what you think about Return to Now and Before the Rain in terms of their position on your album, and, you know, whether it's the last tune or not. But as I said, for me it's the 13th and 14th tune, and here we go, starting with Return to Now. Orchestral music, right? You know, in particular, I love string sections, right? Cellos, violins, bass. understandings, like I feel like Vivaldi's string composition sensibilities, this is on that level, which like it's hard for me to give higher praise. Like Bach was inspired by Vivaldi. The way it sustained that last one, I love that. But it is a pause lead in, yeah? But I feel the connection. It's weird it didn't like lead into it a little more directly, because I feel that direct.
A stormy summer is rolling closer, lighting up this holy smoke.
And use of light, the casting of light onto a darkened template. And the liquid metal thing is already like top level at the beginning of the track. Kind of like music box chimes. The beat is almost like a slow plodding heartbeat. Some violent imagery, some stark imagery. Oh, the double bass. Like downward synth stream. Oh my god! His voice is like clouds across like a twilight sky before the rain. Oh, I love that snare roll. Another one of these swizzly streaks. And again, that snare roll is like ballistic. It's like you're getting hit by shells. Simon's voice just commanding. How fun it is reacting to their tunes in the moment. Like, I hope you all are enjoying this, even just like a fraction of how fun it is to me.
Which blows before the rain.
Oh, very atmospheric. Like a sitar sort of feel, or at least like a plucked guitar. And then Rhodes just... Oh, I love it. Wow. Yeah, so that was incredible. There were multiple things I was enjoying even before it just kicked into that more percussive and like powerful level. Be interesting, you know, these days I shoot a lot of videos and I don't usually have time to watch them, but sometimes, like, you know, a way something hits me in the moment is enough that I just gotta see that. I just gotta like see my face as like that moment happens. So I'm gonna have to go back and check for this one because that was like a really stunning moment. Yeah, absolutely love that track, and I would understand if that was the last track of an album, not only because of the power, not only because it was very epic, but even just that end right there, that had a very like atmospheric sort of like charisma saturated way to end a song and indeed an album. But like I said, on my version at least, there's one more to go, Networker Nation. So we'll come back for that one. Let me know what you think about this. I really did love the sort of lead in Return to Now. And in fact, it almost made me wonder like why it didn't actually sonically connect directly, as I know some of their sequences and albums have done. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but I felt like, you know, the 2 or 3 seconds they took to pause between it, like you didn't necessarily need to do that. You could have like bled one of those strings right into the sort of opening string flourish at the beginning of that. But yeah, that was fantastic. I really did enjoy the sequence of both songs, in particular Before the Rain. So let me know what you think. As I said, we'll come back for Networker Nation. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you next time.